Today I am going to debunk 3 of the top myths that I hear from my readers about food storage and emergency preparedness. So I'm Jody. I'm from the blog foodstoragemadeeasy.net, where I help busy families, busy moms prepare for life's emergencies, big and small. And food is a big part of everybody's emergency preparedness plans because in every emergency you still need to eat. So let's talk about those food storage myths today. So the first myth is that you have to buy everything on a food storage calculator. So the first thing you do is find out what you should buy, and there's all these different lists and recommendations, and you just think you should go down and check the boxes that you got them stored. But what if it's something your family doesn't like? Or what if you don't know how to cook with it? Or what if it's terrible for your stomach, or you're allergic to it? I have a lot of wheat in my basement and I can no longer eat wheat. So that's a problem for me. So basically you want to eat what you store and store what you eat. That sounds cliche, but it is very, very true. So it's best to figure out what your regular diet is and then try to store foods that fit into that diet. So if you normally eat a keto lifestyle, then you're going to need to look into ways of preserving meat or buying freeze-dried meat so that you can have those types of foods in an emergency situation. If you're like a whole foods, no grains, all fruits and vegetables, then you're maybe going to want to store a lot of canned fruits, canned veggies, freeze-dried fruits and veggies, and not as much of the grains or things like that. So it really depends on your eating style and your preferences. And I would recommend always trying anything that you're going to store before you store a lot of it. So one thing on a calculator is like lentils, and I really just don't care to cook with lentils, so I don't store a lot of that. Anyways, okay, so then the second one is you have to have expensive appliances to be able to cook the food that you've stored. Also not true. When I first got started, I thought this as well. I thought you had to have expensive generators and solar ovens and all these fancy tools. And I was like, why am I even going to store food if I can't cook with it if there's no power? But I discovered a lot of things that are inexpensive that can still work. And you can even make some for pretty much free. So the first thing I would always recommend is getting a butane stove. They're like 20 or 30 bucks on Amazon or at a sports store. And they're perfect. You can use them inside. Butane is a pretty cheap fuel. You can boil water and then you can cook anything, like just add water meals, anything that you would cook on a stove, you can cook with your butane stove. They're wonderful. And then aside from that, if you need something like an oven, a sun oven is amazing. I do have one now and I love, love, love it. But before I was able to afford that, I used a cardboard box oven. So you basically wrap a box in tin foil and you use charcoal on a little rack, and you can bake bread. I've done it. It's awesome. Totally works. So if you want some tutorials for free stoves, you can also make a little number 10 can stove that uses any fuels, kind of like a rocket stove, but a free or cheap one. If you want any of these tutorials, just leave a comment below, tutorials, and I'll send you links to a couple of the free ones that we've done on our website. And that will help you out. And then I would recommend like saving up for some of those bigger things later. Like if you can use the power of the sun to cook, it's going to be more cost effective over time and you don't have to worry about storing fuels, but you definitely don't have to have that right away. So don't not store food because you don't know how to cook with it. Food is first. Food is most important. Okay? Then the third one is people think that you are only prepping for a zombie apocalypse. So that is definitely a myth that I want to debunk. Like, you think it's end of the world and, what's the likelihood that there's going to be a complete collapse? Well, you know what? 5 years ago, I didn't really think it would be likely that there would be a global pandemic. Like, you always kind of say you prepare for that, but who really thought that would happen? Like, it was crazy. I cannot believe that happened in my lifetime. So, yes, we do want to prepare just in case for those big things, but I use my food storage daily for life's little emergencies. Like I said, if my kids are all of a sudden supposed to bring food to something for school, I always have something in my basement that I can cook. If I have a neighbor that needs a meal, I have a meal in a jar ready to go that I can just bring to them. If you lose your job or if you're having a tight month and you can eat from your basement instead of from the grocery store, you can save a couple $100s. So there's so many ways. having first aid supplies, having some laundry detergent. If you ran out of milk, there's milk in your basement. So many things. So many reasons why you want to prepare and why you want to have food storage. It can save you time, it can save you money, and it can give you a lot of peace of mind. And so if you are just getting started on this journey and these myths have kind of prevented you from starting, I would recommend that you sign up for the baby steps checklist. So go to foodstoragemadeeasy.net, and then on the front page there's like a getting started link, and it'll send you a checklist every 2 weeks with something to buy and details about that item and how you can cook with it. Because I never want you to buy something, like I said, that you're not going to use or eat in your own family. So that is the best way to get started. Hopefully that helps you kind of look past those 3 myths that are pretty common, especially for people just getting started. So come and follow me. You want to make sure you subscribe and click the little notification bell, and we'll see you in the next video.